In 2004, one of the nation's leading fire scientists reviewed the evidence used to convict Cameron Todd Willingham of killing his 3 daughters and concluded the investigation was scientifically invalid. The burn patterns, the so-called pour indicators, the low burns and cracked glass, none reliably distinguished accidental from intentional fire. That report reached the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles and the governor's office before Willingham's execution. Neither halted the procedure. He was executed on February 17, 2004, maintaining his innocence to the end. Subsequent independent review by the Texas Forensic Science Commission confirmed the same conclusion. Yet Texas has never formally acknowledged what the science suggests. On the morning of December 23, 1991, fire consumed a house in Corsicana, Texas. Cameron Todd Willingham, 23, escaped. His daughters did not. Amber, 2, and twins, Carmen and Cameron, 1. Neighbors found him outside, distraught, saying he had tried to reach the children but been driven back by flame. By the time investigators arrived, the house was heavily damaged. The scene was processed within hours, and the question investigators answered that day would determine the rest of Willingham's life. Corsicana Fire Department investigators and the Texas State Fire Marshal's Office declared the fire deliberate. Their conclusion relied on methodologies common at the time. Visual indicators interpreted as evidence of accelerant use. Investigator described irregular burn patterns as pour marks, pointed to low-level charring and fractured glass as signs of intentional ignition. Those observations, presented with technical certainty, formed the core of the prosecution's case. The fire was set, and Willingham was responsible. At trial, the courtroom encountered those technical claims without the tools to evaluate them. Expert testimony presented arson indicators as definitive. A jailhouse informant testified to a confession. Willingham refused a plea deal offering life in exchange for a guilty plea. He maintained he had not killed his children. The jury convicted him of 3 counts of capital murder. He was sentenced to death. The legal process moved forward on a foundation the scientific community would later question. Over the following years, fire investigation underwent substantial scrutiny. Researchers began controlled burns and empirical studies to test long-held assumptions. The supposed hallmarks of arson, the burn patterns, the pour marks, low burns, broken glass, were replicated in accidental fires under certain ventilation and burn conditions. Indicators once treated as diagnostic proved ambiguous or misleading. What had been presented as settled science in courtrooms was exposed as methodology that could not reliably distinguish cause. In 2004, the Innocence Project engaged Dr. Gerald Hurst, a Cambridge-trained chemist and respected fire investigator, to review the Willingham record. Hurst examined reports, photographs, and trial testimony. His conclusion: the arson determination lacked scientific validity. He found the physical evidence consistent with an accidental fire. Hurst's report was forwarded to parole authorities and to Governor Rick Perry's office before the scheduled execution. The report did not prompt clemency. The execution proceeded. The case did not die with Willingham. The Texas legislature created the Texas Forensic Science Commission in 2005 to examine allegations of forensic negligence. The commission hired Craig Baylor to independently review the fire evidence. In 2009, Baylor reached a conclusion consistent with Hurst's. The original investigators had applied outdated and unreliable methods. Their courtroom certainty did not reflect controlled scientific findings. Baylor's report validated the scientific questions that had been raised since 2004. The institutional response was decisive and controversial. Days before the commission prepared to receive Baylor's report and hold a public hearing, Governor Perry replaced 3 commission members, including the chairman. The incoming leadership halted the proceedings and delayed formal adjudication. When the commission later addressed the matter, its process and conclusions had been altered by the interruption. No Texas court or government body has declared Willingham innocent. No posthumous pardon has been issued. The official record remains unresolved. Willingham's case now occupies a central place in debates over capital punishment and forensic reform. It is repeatedly cited not as definitive proof that an innocent person was executed, but as a case in which the evidence is strong enough to demand serious doubt. Reforms followed, updated national standards for fire investigation, and greater emphasis on empirical validation of forensic methods. Those changes arrived too late for Willingham and his daughters. The final facts are stark. Cameron Todd Willingham was convicted on arson evidence later found scientifically invalid by independent experts, including one retained by the state's own commission. A critical report reached the governor's office before execution. The execution occurred anyway. The commission's review was interrupted by a gubernatorial replacement of members. Texas has never formally acknowledged what successive reviews have indicated. Willingham was 23 when the fire took his daughters and 36 when the state executed him. Subscribe to Case Files TV because when forensic science changes after an execution, there is no mechanism to undo what the state has done.